How Sofyan Amrabat will fit into Erik Ten Hag's Manchester United. Today we're going to go through all the formations, the starting 11s and different tactical tweaks to get the best out of the Moroccan central midfielder. Manchester United and Erik Ten Hag have got their man a loan deal with an option to buy at the end of the summer, has seen Amrabat move from Fiorentina to Manchester United. For me, this is a very, very important signing. At the start of the season, Manchester United have tried to play a bit more of a 4-3-3, using both Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes at the base of midfield. But the tactical issue that has created is that Casemiro has basically had to defend the entirety of the pitch. Manchester United's shape was more broken down into a front five players, the two central midfielders, the two wingers and the striker, and then the fullbacks, defensive midfielder, the two centre-halves as the back five unit. This meant Manchester United struggled to play through and to build up, with a lot of teams pressing United to the right-hand side of their shape, and then Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Raphael Varane having to be the players to progress to play. This was a big problem, and Amrabat instantly comes in and fixes this issue. You know, you're looking at the new shape Man United probably will play. It'll be more of a two-man base with Casemiro and Amrabat, Diogo Dalot and Aaron Wan-Bissaka playing in more offensive roles, getting into the final third. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka, for example, excels making those runs on the inside of Antony, whereas Diogo Dalot could equally overlap Marcus Rashford, but also drive inside, allowing Amrabat to sit at the base of midfield and drop into this kind of right half position to receive the ball deep and then play the progressive passes. Looking at Amrabat as a footballer for Fiorentina, last season he very much played at the base of midfield and looked to get on the ball and command the tempo. He operated a little bit like a halfback, dropping back in between the centre-backs or to the left of the centre-backs or to the right of the centre-backs, getting on the ball and using his range of passing to spread the play. Against league champions Napoli in this match, Amrabat completed 68 of his 69 passes and 99% accuracy, 9 out of 9 of his accurate long balls, 100% of his dribbles completed, 5 out of 5 tackles won in the game, was absolutely superb in possession. You can see by his heat map getting on the ball in really deep areas. If we take a look at Amrabat's scout report on Football Ref, it paints a really nice picture of him as a footballer. Again, moving into the statistics that he does, it is those progressive passes in the top 2% of midfielders in European football last season in terms of progressing the ball into the opponent's half, at 9.61 per game. But we move into his passing statistics. Again, we can see he's in the top 1 or top 2% of players for passes completed, pass accuracy, total passing distance, long passes, passes into the final third is all where he really excels. I think the big thing for Manchester United, not only will he give United a lot in a ball playing, passing perspective, but also when you're looking at a tackle perspective, his tackle numbers are pretty decent for a team that dominated the ball in Serie A. What I like as well, very safe in possession. You can see he's in the top 2% of players in terms of being tackled whilst dribbling the ball, which is really good statistics. That only happens 15% of the time in the last 365 days. I think that what gives Manchester United is that real option out of the back, knowing that it's going to be secure at the base, which has been a big concern for Manchester United this season, but Amrabat is very much that controlling midfielder. It could allow United to build up a number of different ways. As we mentioned, Amrabat dropping into this right back area, could be dropping in between the centre backs and splitting them. It's basically creating kind of the Ajax of Frankie de Jong and Lasse Schöne in defensive midfield. Frequently you'd see Frankie drop from midfield, get on the ball and then carry through. Amrabat of course can do that. He's not bad on the carry, but more than not it'll be the ability to spread the play, to play those progressive passes or play those second assist passes in behind the opposition's defence. It will really give a new life to Casemiro. Alternatively, what we could see from Manchester United is in their build-up shape, we could potentially see the midfield kind of line up in the 4-2-3-1, but Casemiro may be joining the final third. Casemiro, surprisingly for Manchester United in all competitions, was directly involved in 13 goals. Only Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford involved in more goals in all competitions. So Casemiro could actually be operating in this box-to-box role, which I quite like. We know we're going to get the tenacity. The big thing as well in terms of the pressing in the final third or counter-pressing when United have got the ball, having someone like Casemiro high up the pitch in those areas is going to be really good for Manchester United. So it could see Casemiro operating a little bit higher. Again, one of the fullbacks moving inside, or we could see Casemiro operating in kind of a halfway house where as soon as the ball's been progressed into the final third, then he can make that move and and join the attack. What that means for United is you've got another option, not only in the final third, but another box threat. I think United's box threat with Højlund in the team and Rashford is good, but having Casemiro crashing into the box will give players like Antony and Bruno Fernandes, targets in that penalty area to hit when the ball has been worked wide. I think Amrabat gives that, knowing that there's the freedom for the rest of the team, with Amrabat to wait and receive, sit in a kind of defensive midfield position, recycle play, or play those passes into the feet of the forwards. Is going to be a real benefit for Manchester United. So that's potentially one thing United could do, using Casemiro as a box-to-box midfielder to get him into the final third. As mentioned, good goal scoring and assisting stats last season. Or alternatively, Casemiro could actually be used at centre-back, which means that Mason Mount could join the attacking lineup, and it'd be a little bit more of what we saw early on in the season, knowing that United have got a really good ball player. And Casemiro could play the John Stones role, starting in a centre-back position and then actually moving and joining Amrabat at defensive midfield. United building with a back three, 2 defensive midfielders and a front 5. I'd also like that as an attacking move for Manchester United. We've seen Erik Ten Hag, when chasing games, move to a bit of a diamond, with Casemiro playing as a false centre-back, moving into midfield, the diamond operating, and United moving to kind of a structure with Alejandro Garnacho maybe on one wing, Rashford and Højlund up front, with a midfield that's created from Casemiro moving from the base into midfield. 3-man pairing of Bruno, Amrabat and Casemiro can allow United to go super offensive at the back end of games, playing this 3 kind of diamond 3 structure and really get at the opponents, really have bodies in the box and the ball's worked wide. We saw that at times last season as Man United were chasing games. At Casemiro and Amrabat give United that really, really good option, with Casemiro playing in this kind of John Stones role, defending at centre-half, but then moving into that defensive midfield zone when United have got the ball. I think that's a great way for United to really utilise Casemiro. Also, if United were kind of going for that offensive 3 on midfield, as we kind of mentioned before, having Amrabat in that defensive midfield zone and allowing United to play 2 number 10s in central midfield, knowing that they've got that ability to, with someone to control the tempo and play and look for those through passes in Amrabat, that's a really good option. Amrabat is different to Casemiro on the ball. He's more of a player that's going to control, that's going to switch, that's going to move the ball on, but he's also going to play that second assist pass. And we've got a great example in the game against Braga in the Europa League last season. So Fiorentina are building out of the back. Their centre-back has just carried into midfield, Igor, who's signed for Brighton. They're building with a back 3. There's another centre-back just out of shot down here. So they're building kind of similar to Manchester United, with a number 8 sitting a little bit higher of the defence. He really enjoys receiving the ball in these areas to get a simple pass into feet. From this position, there's lots of options on. You could play the winger in behind the defence. You could look to the feet of the number 8, or you could look to spin the number 8 in behind. Of course, in this move, Amrabat looks for that more direct option, hits the ball in behind the defence. Brilliant second assist pass, and the assist comes into the back post for Jovic to sweep in. A really good move for Fiorentina. Not only is that picking up the ball at the right centre-back position, or the right half position that I like that he could do for Manchester United, but it's also dropping back as a half-back. We see him do it against Sampdoria here, spotting the space in between the centre-backs, dropping, demanding the ball into feet. Lovely turn, splitting the opponent's lines with a diagonal pass to Milinkovic, then receiving again, seeing where the space is, getting the ball in space, playing a lovely poke with the outside of his foot to feed the wing in behind the defence. Or alternatively, balls against West Ham United in the Europa Conference League final. This was the pass for the Fiorentina goal. Amrabat direct in behind the defence, the knockdown, and then finished off in the penalty area. This is all options for Manchester United. Amrabat's passing range will allow him to do that. I think finally, one last little tactical option for Manchester United is the moving to the diamond. That's having Amrabat as a kind of right central midfielder. That's Manchester United moving to more of a midfield diamond, a 4-4-2 diamond. Getting Christian Eriksen into a deep ball playing area with Amrabat, or alternatively, utilising Casemiro at the base and Amrabat back into the team. Erik Ten Hag frequently did this, when he was Utrecht manager and Ajax manager in the Eredivisie. It was a really interesting shape and system. It would kind of build in a bit of a lopsided way, where the right side of the pitch would be a bit deeper in Casemiro and Amrabat. Left side of the pitch would be a little bit higher. You'd have the width either coming from the full forwards moving out to in, all the fullbacks kind of joining the attack, and it was a super kind of congested central attacking unit, but very difficult to play against. Think about all the passes that you can utilise into the feet of the forwards from Amrabat from this right central midfield position. In terms of the passing stats versus Manchester United midfielders last season, Amrabat comes on top in terms of pass accuracy, number of passes completed per 90, progressive passes and passes into the final third. Amrabat is going to be a fantastic signing for Manchester United, but it should have been done at the start of the window. I've been Statman Dave. Get into the comments below where you think Amrabat will play for Manchester United, and are you excited that United have signed a Moroccan international? Big GGs. I'm very, very happy. We'll see you soon.